name is Philip Henderson. For as long as I could remember, I've been fascinated with the spirit world. The only true reality of life is death. Death comes to all. Astral dwellers, elemental ones, extraterrestrials, multi-dimensional travellers. All this I've summed up to mean the X-Realm. Come with me into the X-Realm projects, where I'll show you real people and how they interact with the X-Realm. X-Realm receives an urgent message to do an investigation. This is the actual phone call to the distressed woman.
Hello.
Yeah, good day.
Yeah, hi, Phil, how you going?
Oh, I'm good. The woman explained some of the phenomena.
Like being turned over, and the chairs were like placed so they were upside down. Okay, because the day before as well, we heard like a weird banging noise, right, in the kitchen, all upturned, everything on the shelf. There's ornaments on the shelf, vitamin tablets, like just everything was turned upside down on the shelf. And then all of a sudden, I've heard this freaking horrible hissing sort of whoosh noise. If you want to come out there,
right.
If you want to go out there, we'll meet you out there now.
With that said, I've got another team member and made our way out to the property. On arrival, I find the two women I was speaking with. They've locked the keys inside the house. In all of a panic of hearing certain sounds and seeing the situation, they threw the keys in the air and ran outside. The only way we can get in is through a window. I hop in and open the front door. So we all walk in, and sure enough, there's furniture on its side, white goods facing the other way, ornaments upside down. Something doesn't feel right about this. There is no indications of anything paranormal here. The EMF doesn't go off, no EVPs are recorded, no static electricity is detected, but yet the women share with me their experiences there and other family members. So why is a prank being done when a place is having paranormal experience? Something doesn't feel right here. All right, so we're going to come back tomorrow. Let us know when you come out and I'll come out and meet you.
Okay.
Then we'll go in and see if anything's different. Oh, thanks, ladies. We'll bring it here and we've got the camera in there.
Yep, no worries. No worries. Thanks very much for coming out.
Yeah, we'll come back tomorrow. So I go out there the next day to get my camera and to see how things are. The guy who lives there is there. He tells me that it was a prank. It was a family member for shits and giggles. He also tells me that he doesn't understand about many circumstances he's experienced there. It sounds like he's having paranormal things going on. He's up for an investigation, and I go back another day to film what he has to say. His name is Sparky.
I've been out here late at night and then decided I'd go inside, and we're all going to bed. And I thought I left the front door open, which normally does catch the wind and bang on my step like this. But this night I locked the door from the inside, and it was definitely locked, and then we all went to bed. There was three of us here, and the noise was a bit extra louder this time. It was sort of more, and got more frequent and more harder, like this. And it didn't, I thought that was very strange and very loud too, which sounded like it was a person or something else. I come out, the door was locked with my daughter. My daughter seen me unlock the door, and then we walked out and there was no one here. And I've lied in my bedroom inside, and I've heard all these loud creaks, very loud, like very heavy movements, and then listened to it for about a half an hour, and then I've walked into the kitchen to see if that noise followed me, and it did actually follow me to the kitchen. I've been here during the day, and I've heard heavy, like footprint type things of creaking, loud creaking, like there's weight in my roof. Walked towards me, and I've been standing here, and it stopped right above me, but every footstep I could feel vibrations in the floor slightly, and also very heavy creaking in the roof. Had this really, and at the same time I had this real funny feeling come over me, like something had entered the house. It keeps going on for hours and hours, and if that was a possum or a rat or some type of animal, you'd think they'd get tired and actually stop in one spot for at least 5 seconds. But this doesn't happen. It just keeps moving around and moving fairly quickly, where I think if it was a possum or a rat, it would have to be dodging a lot of stuff in there and would get tired. But this doesn't stop. It just keeps going and going. Yes, I've also walked out here of a night time, and I've had my van parked on this side over in the front of my garage. And as I walked across this passageway, I heard woof, which was sounded human-like, but I'm not too sure on that one. I've heard a lot of noises around it overnight that have got fairly loud also. So it was a very loud bang that woke me up during the night, which was more like that or louder. I've heard that noise also twice during the day as well. I've gone away on holidays and I've had this switch turned off on me here for my water pump, which I know I left on when I left. No theft around the place. I've heard a lot of footsteps and a lot of other loud noises and doors banging, etc. No, nothing's been missing. But just there is definitely something going on with the noises and the switch being turned off and banging on doors, etc.
Sparky says to me I'm allowed to go out whenever I want. He's shown me where the spare key is. I go out there quite a few times. But one day, I'm able to hear the sounds in the roof he's describing. It doesn't sound normal to me. I'm going to go around the backyard and see if I can record the movement in the roof in the backyard. What you're about to see is a wavelength. The area that's highlighted, I believe, is an EVP. It's just me here, no one's here. It's just me here, no one's here. It's just me here, no one's here. I go back inside and see if I can still hear the roof moving. I can't hear any sounds outside. There are no trees hitting the roof. This is weird. There's a bit of movement in the roof. I just stand as still as possible, trying to document all sounds with my video camera. I don't feel any feeling of not being welcome or any intimidating force of the paranormal world. It sounds like something falls on the ground. I decide to leave and come back later on that night. I grab another X-Realm member and we go to the house. This time I want to do a walkthrough with the structured light sensor camera. With the SLS camera we get a few stick figures. They appear in the hallway. In this one room where later on in the investigation one of our members gets pushed over in this room and the EMF detector goes off. In that room there happens to be this stick figure. It seems to be hanging around a chest of drawers. This is still the first stage in the investigation. We leave some trail cameras outside the house. While we're filming inside, we pick up quite a lot of dust particles, or are they? So I feel like I've got to do a controlled test. Today I'm going to do a simple controlled experiment about capturing dust particles in the air. So I'll compare the results of dust flying about to the other videos I've taken in here. So let's create the dust about. I'm really curious to see what it looks like with the dust coming near me. Let's see if anything flies around this area. Because dust should only be seen around here, because that's reflecting off the flash now. Sit down. I'm here with Heather Dunn. She's a medium and a tarot card reader. We're at the location where we've been investigating now for the last 2 weeks. I'm curious to see what Heather can pick up here. We're going to walk around the house, walk inside the house, and we'll see what we can pick up. Have you picked up anything already, Heather?
I have picked up a little bit. And I did a meditation prior to coming here where I picked up some information. But I'm looking forward to walking around and seeing if what I picked up before is validated here. So I'm interested to look around.
Excellent, Heather. Well, it's a lovely sunny day. Let's go for a walk.
Yeah.
We're inside the house now. And have you got anything to share with us, Heather, you picked up?
This is his favourite room. This room is, for some reason, special to him.
Male energy?
Male, oh definitely male, yeah.
Okay. Did you live here before?
What I got before was that he'd lived here for a long time before. It's just saying the house has changed since he was here.
Okay.
So there's been things taken away and some things added since he was here. He's an old fellow, sort of real country type. He actually liked being out in the garden, getting around the garden, and he liked fiddling around in the shed. So he spent a lot of time in the shed.
Does he like people being here?
He says he doesn't care who's here. He just misses being here himself.
Okay.
This was his home for a long time, and this is where his heart sits. Names can be tricky.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they can be spot on, sometimes they can be way off, but I'm getting Bradley, which may be a last name.
Is he the energy that is moving in the roof, making noises that the people here feel uncomfortable with?
He says, I might do a bit of work around the place.
Oh.
He's not doing it to... He says, I'm just getting on with things. I've got to get these things done. I'm just getting on with things.
Is he the one creating the noise in the roof?
He says he doesn't really like going in roofs.
Could you ask him if there is any other spirits here that share the space with him?
He's saying there's a Marty or a Mary that sometimes drops by. Marty or Mary, that kind of name.
Okay.
He's here more than what she is though.
Right.
She drops by and then goes again.
And Heather, I want you to see if something else comes through. Can you pick up a younger man?
I'm not picking up anything definitive. Well, in that light, that younger man is coming in, but he just looks at me and then he walks away. He's got dark hair, and wearing sort of tight pants. He's actually quite shy in himself. And he says, leave me alone. Yeah, I'm trying to connect. He said, leave me alone.
Hmm.
That's what he said to me.
Okay.
So I don't want to push it.
No.
You know, if he's telling me, asking me to leave him alone, then I should leave him alone, really.
In some cases, if a spirit is not a nice spirit, is it possible that this male, the young man, doesn't want to be found out for what he's doing, So if he's telling you, leave me alone, I feel that we are sort of prying with information. We want him to reveal himself because he may be the reason behind the occupants of this house not wanting to live here. Is it possible to force the cards and say, no, come out more, young man? You have things you need to explain.
He's looking at me.
In what way?
He's not speaking, he's just...
What's the gesture in his face? Does he look a bit mean? Does he look a bit...
He doesn't look mean, but he does look defiant. But he's indicating he doesn't want to talk to me. But he is looking at me now, whereas before it was a glance and away. I am trying to engage him.
Is he running away, Heather?
No, he's just looking, and he says he was the black sheep of the family and he was undervalued. Nobody took him seriously in the family.
We are taking you seriously because we're here now wanting to talk to you. You have a story to tell. And we'll be really appreciative if you did share a bit more about yourself.
Yeah, what I was getting with pain in my head here. Like a motorbike or motor car accident type thing.
Head injury.
Something, head injury. Some sort of motorbike. Accident type. Head injury. And he was being reckless. He's shown me a road. Something's done with CLs, Clary or Cleary or Clary or it's a T-junction that he's shown me.
Because what I'd like to do for you, young man, is if you can show us where you had your accident, seeing that you feel that no one took you seriously, well, I will take you seriously and I'll take there some flowers or something that you would like for us to remember you by.
Oh, he would like that.
Well, come forth, please, and this is what we can do for you. So we'll remember you, not just in the day of death, but in your living. Please tell Heather what you would like me to take there and the location.
He's feeling pretty overwhelmed right now.
Okay.
He came in really strong when you were saying that. And he thought that was a really good idea. He really liked that reaching out. He said an alcohol beverage. He actually said that before, but then he said, that was what he came up with initially.
He was most probably under the influence when he had the accident. Most probably.
Yeah. He says he was trying to prove something when he said, I'll show them. Away he went.
Okay.
There was a dip in the road.
I will share a beer with you. But if I do that, I would like to know the name of the person I'm sharing a beer with.
See, before he was saying Daniel, the emotions that are going through him just now are sort of, he hasn't experienced anything like this before. He says, I really was a cool dude. He's wearing like heels like this and little pointed boots.
Oh, yes. I'm sure you were, mate. What year did you die? How cool were you, in the 70s, 80s, 60s?
Oh, that's interesting. As soon as you said that, 1966 just into my head. Whether that's,
that's fine.
that was what I got.
66, eh? When you would have had grease back hair. Can you see his hairdo?
Well, his hair it kind of went up and over. It was kind of scooped, but it was not, probably a bit longer than mine.
Then could you tell Heather what is your connection to this house?
Oh, he had a girlfriend here.
Do you like the people that are living here now?
He doesn't care.
Okay. What was the smell of your girlfriend's perfume? Do Do you remember that?
It's just flowers and champagne.
Oh, lovely. We had many happy times. Okay, well, we might slowly fade out the session there, Heather. How are you feeling, Heather?
He's a lot happier now.
All right.
Yeah, he found that really positive.
I appreciate that you've listened to us and you are respecting our space, Daniel.
Ah, he's standing there, he's walking backwards and he's saying, "It's all right, I won't touch you, it's all right," you know, like,
Thanks,
okay.
mate. All right.
That's what he's doing, he's kind of going, you know that,
She'll be right, everything's cool, man.
everything's cool, oh,
Yeah. All right, well, we'll finish it off there, Heather. Thank you, Heather.
You're welcome.
I'm here with Heather Dunn. A couple of days ago we were here and we connected to two spirits, Charles Bradley and Daniel. Daniel was a young man who apparently had an accident, head trauma, 1966. I have quite a few different detectors here today. There's a static electricity, this electromagnetic frequency detector, and it's electromagnetic radiation detector. I said to Daniel that I would like to remember his life and death by sharing a beer with him. He liked that idea, so here we are. I'm hoping Daniel will be present and sit on this lounge and the detectors will detect his activity. If Daniel goes for his beer, this should pick up that he's actually having that beer. I feel I should move this more here. Is Daniel present now, Heather?
Yes.
How's he feeling about all this?
He's a little bit unsure, but he'd like the beer.
Okay. All right, Daniel, let's crack open your beer, mate. There we go. So, Daniel, please, it would be great if you came and sit here next to me. And you might hopefully set off one of these detectors. So what I'll do, I'll hold your beer up for you and we'll have a cheers to Daniel's life.
Daniel's life, may he always be remembered.
He'll always be remembered, Daniel. Can you actually physically see Daniel, Heather? Like, is he...
At the moment, he's just sort of just here.
Okay.
But he's at the same time he's holding back a little bit.
Right.
So, but he's here. I'm just trying to encourage him to come forward. He's not into the science stuff. It's just bullshit science.
Yeah, I'm just wishing to indicate that spirits are real, Daniel, and if you can show that you're here in the sense of a big orb in front of Heather, show the radiance of your spirit, or set one of these detectors off, we'll be able to help people not forget you, because this will be captured and people will know you, remember you, because you've indicated that you're present as a spirit, and that will show people that you're real, mate, when you're ready.
He looks sort of late 20s, 30s. Very easily could be 25 to 35.
Has he touched the beer at all? Interacted with it?
I don't think so. He's been more interested in me drinking mine.
Oh, okay.
So he's sort of been, I don't know.
All right, it's interesting that if our spirit is working through a medium, what that has been shown that what the medium is feeling and has on and consumes, the spirit can have more of a sense of that. So as you're drinking the beer, Heather, Daniel could be feeling that beer because he's connecting with you.
And I'm actually enjoying this, and I don't like this brand myself. But yeah, usually I sort of, but I'm actually enjoying it. So
Right, okay.
That's unusual for me with this brand.
Okay, right.
He's sort of blending with me a little bit. I think that's why I'm so hot. But earlier he said, "This is awesome." You know, when he was, when I was drinking the beer and...
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we've done what we said with Dan. Had a beer with him.
I'm not even sure that he's still here. I'm just...
Daniel could have entered Heather's body, and because that was a way of him to enjoy the beer. Heather's energy was not being expelled or released. It was more holding in.
Yeah. No, he's gone.
Yeah. That's a good indication he's gone, isn't it? Wow, okay. So Heather doesn't like the taste of that beer now, but she did like it before.
Oh, that's interesting.
Another camera goes flat on me. I have to use a backup camera, but this one isn't that good quality. I really apologise about that. It's been put into this episode due to further phenomena seen. When you are casting out your third eye, what do you see? Do you see...
I mean, I can still see everything around here, but then it's like there's a video running, and I can see that with the black dog, it's jumping around, rolling around. It's got like a ball that's been flattened, and it's playing with the ball, and it's got long fur, and I can see it. I can see.
While you were talking then, Heather,
really
I just saw something move across the doorway.
Right.
While you're just sharing that.
Yes.
So, the corner of my eye here,
Yep.
I just saw it right there. It was about this tall. There's something went... It wasn't dark. It was not radiating light. It was just white.
There might be a girl. I saw a little girl as well.
Wow. Okay.
But I wasn't getting a lot of information through for her, so I did. There was a girl with blonde hair, longish blonde hair. But she came in and then she sort of... I saw her and then she wasn't there.
Sorry to cut you off there.
That's,
That's
okay. She's looking at me now and she's got a teddy bear under her arm as well. And she was drawn in by the dog. She was looking into the room and she just had the teddy under her arm and she's just looking. Almost like we weren't here. What was that?
The camera's just taken a photo. I don't know why it shouldn't have, because it's on live. Whenever you're ready, Heather, we can finish it off there.
The cat just walked out of that room over there.
Wow.
His tail was just around the corner. Oh dear.
Somewhere every time there was a pussycat here.
Yes. Oh dear.
Now I bring in another medium to give us more insight. Dan Stevenson.
It's a male in it. Hasn't been in the human for a long time. Feels stuck here and he shouldn't be here. Kind of making the most of being here though. But it didn't come from this area. It's further down the hill, down the road. They're looping in here over and over and over again. They are out of time and place. They really shouldn't be up here. Well, I don't know what they were doing down there. Down that way. Doesn't really want to be seen.
Okay.
I almost get him, and then he flips.
Are the people here in danger?
No. No, he's just mucking people around. He can't hurt anybody, he's not allowed to. Just terrorises people. Likes being in the shed.
Do you think he likes old cars?
No. It's not about the cars. It's a masculine space. About 25, 26. Just by the way, this guy was messing around with the occult. a long time ago, spiritualist 1920s, 1930s. Messing around with dark shit. He's an opportunist. He waited for the opening. I'm picking up on his name's Alan or Aaron, something like Alan. I think it's Alan. But he doesn't recognise that name anymore.
Oh, okay.
It's not that his energy's here because he was murdered here. It's not because he's some trauma happened, because the land doesn't have trauma on it. This is because he's jumped through a portal because it was opened in the seance. It wasn't closed. You know, it's not grounded here. It comes in and out. It's not here all the time, and it's not just one.
What is it?
I'm not really sure. I can't pinpoint what it actually is. But it's been brought here. It doesn't exist here naturally.
And when, a few months ago, we asked you to follow us when we were doing an investigation here, you said that you could not remotely view this place.
No, I couldn't remotely view it. I was being blocked from finding it. Just the vicinity of the property. So I'd say a kilometre radius. They were invited here 40 years ago. No, it was an individual. It was a female. He wasn't working in the occult. He was dabbling. Scared the shit out of himself and ended up in a whole heap of grief himself. He doesn't want to be reasoned with, and he doesn't want to communicate. He just likes terrorising people and putting the fear of whatever into people. He's been doing it in this house since at least 40 years. Thinks he's entitled to it. To look out for him.
But if he's not going anywhere else, why would he be doing that?
Just keeping an eye on things. That's all he's doing.
Okay. All right, thanks, Dan.
That's all right.
All right, tomorrow night we're going to have a seance in this house. The roof has a lot of activity. I'm going to go up there, put a camera, see if I can see what's causing that. The tenants of this place, they really feel it's not an animal yet. It's heavy footsteps, constant. So part of this type of investigation work is you've got to get the dirty spots. You don't want to see me get thrown down here, and that'd be great footage.
I'll YouTube it for you.
Alright. Okay, this is the roof area. I'm going to put a camera. Can't see any animals. I'm going to get up. Alright, we've just come to this house. We've set up cameras. While being here, we heard something at the back door that tried to get in. On investigation, there was nothing there. I'm here with Chris. He's assisting me with my setting up of the joint. And he heard hissing, which people who live here have heard hissing as well. So far, we've got some things that are ticking the boxes that happened to us that have today that's happened to other people. So we'll come back here tomorrow night. We're going to have a seance, and we're going to talk to Mr. Ghosty here, and hopefully he will give us some intelligence and intelligent feedback. Chris is pointing over there for some reason. What's over there, Chris?
Noise.
What sort of noise?
Did you just hear that bang?
No, I didn't hear a bang.
No, I just heard a bang just over near the window.
Oh, hopefully the camera picked that up. All right, cool. We're getting some activity. Hopefully the activity will come out at night time when we're all here, and yeah, like I said, we'll get some intelligent conversation and some feedback. All right, let's see how we go. I invite some like-minded people along to participate in the seance. Dan Stevenson will be holding the space and opening and closing the circle. I suggest you do not stuff around with seances if you do not know what you're doing. In many cases, there can be after effects of a negative nature while you are doing this. When you ask the spirit to show me a sign that you're here, it's on their time, not your time. Most of the time it is at a later date People who have no idea what's happened, they get the effect of the negative influence. Ouija boards, spirit boards, and other ways of talking to the dead can create a portal from the spirit world, astral world, onto Earth, and in some cases, even hell. It is to be taken
I
seriously.
call upon the four directions and the four elements to open this circle as a consecrated place. May east and air share the knowledge of all beginnings. May north and earth share the knowledge of all stabilizing influences. May south and fire share the knowledge of all changes. May west and water share the knowledge of all endings. Goddess the Mother of all protects. God the Father of all defends. We're always safe, we're never alone. We call upon the spirits and we call upon forces of good to enter the circle of white light and divine inspiration. May our higher selves transmit to us the safety and wisdom that we need. The circle is open.
Whilst we're doing the seance, I have a SLS camera on us, 2 infrared cameras on us. There is 2 CCTV cameras in the roof and 1 out the back. I've got Chris in the kitchen observing the CCTV and taking note of any phenomena witnessed. Now I know a lot of you will be just thinking it's just bugs, but the second object isn't a bug. It smudges its way through the air. There is a high chance that these objects are bugs, and the effect of pulsating can be the movement of the wings reflecting the infrared light. Now in saying that, anything in the spirit world is possible, so this could be a phenomenon. Both objects streak very fast towards the ceiling. I know it's hard to see, but it's there. The flash of light you see here, I feel is not a bug, but it is evidence of activity of a paranormal nature here. Myself and Chris try a bit of provocation. Okay. Let's go now, Chris.
You pushed me over here before, why can't you do it again? It's right here I was standing, you went boop. No. Don't even want a beep, give me a sign of a beep. Look, something like this, can't you do this? I can do it, can't you do it?
Our guest states that she feels that she's been touched at the side of the head. The back shed shows no paranormal activity. No paranormal activity was filmed using the CCTV. We decided to wrap things up with the seance. With that, Dan has to close the circle.
We now close our circle. We thank the West and Water for sharing their knowledge of all endings. We thank South and Fire for sharing their knowledge of all changes. We thank North and Earth for sharing their knowledge of all stabilizing influences. We thank East and Air for sharing their knowledge of all beginnings. We dismiss the 4 directions and the 4 elements, and we close our circle, our consecrated place of love, healing and spiritual guidance. So mote it be.
The X-Realm crew collected paranormal evidence to point to this place being haunted. Apparition witnessed, EVP recorded, physical contact, back door was rattled, visual phenomena was captured, equipment affected, hissing heard that other people have heard, and the roof sound recorded. Sparky hadn't stayed in this place for quite a few months. He was terrified by the sounds in the roof, the sounds outside, and the feeling of not being welcome. Since we've been there, he stayed there a couple of nights, but still doesn't feel comfortable. A basic clearing was done with sage and boundaries were made. When Sparky was leaving the place, the real estate showed up. Sparky shared with them some of the experiences he had had at the home. The real estate surprisingly said the tenant before him had experienced the doors being rattled and sounds outside. I have seen the new tenants. They've been there for 6 months and they have experienced no paranormal activity. Well, that wraps it up for the first episode of X Realm. The next one will be in a totally different location and with different people. See you next time.
Orange